If you're watching this video, you might have the general sense that you could or should do more to organize and manage your financial life. And you might also be a bit unsure about where to begin or even feel stuck. Today, I'm going to talk about how this blog will help bring you the clarity and confidence you need to take empowering and intentional steps to move your financial life forward. Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Turning Point Financial Life Planning, where we offer financial planning services to psychotherapists across the country, helping them lead more authentic, balanced, and abundant lives. If you're new here, please be sure and subscribe. So today, I'm going to cover the ways in which the content I'm creating for this blog will help you better manage your financial life. But first, let's just acknowledge that even that phrase, managing your financial life, sounds boring and a bit painful. And yes, this finance stuff is work, but it is really worthwhile work. Engaging with your finances and managing your financial life isn't just some check the box, grin and bear it work to be done with as quickly as possible. When I say managing your financial life, what I really mean is using your financial resources to support living the life you feel called to live. Financial planning is all about creating a better life for yourself, one where your financial resources propel you forward rather than weigh you down or hold you back. That's why I believe financial planning can help you lead a life which is authentic, balanced, and abundant. Okay, so that sounds great, but how do we get there? Well, that's where this blog comes in. It will help you move forward in your financial life by offering empowering content in two areas. The first is establishing a foundation of knowledge around the basics of the financial world. You don't need to be an expert, but I believe it is critical to have a basic understanding. Unfortunately, this foundational knowledge is hard to come by, but don't worry, I'll help guide you through it. The second area is just as important, and that's working to shift your mindset or your perspective around money and finance. This isn't really about the work itself, but rather about acknowledging and working with the sometimes strong emotions we all have around money. Money can be a huge source of worry, anxiety, and stress. I really believe financial planning can alleviate that suffering. That's why I'm so passionate about this work. It helps people lead better lives. All right, so let's jump into a quick overview of the two different areas this blog will cover. Let's start with that foundational knowledge around finance and why I think it's so important. I'll call it foundational finance. Because most of us haven't received this foundational education, managing our financial life becomes much harder than it needs to be. We're forced to just sort of figure things out on our own without any roadmap or context around the matters we're navigating. The good news is that personal finance and finance in general is actually quite simple. There are some simple, basic concepts which you need to learn first. Once you've established that foundation, layering on some of the more nuanced complexities becomes much easier and understandable. It's important to point out that building this foundation doesn't mean that you have to become an expert or spend hours mastering this content. The idea behind foundational finance is to provide you with the basics. That foundation won't make you an expert, but it will provide you a view of the bigger picture and an understanding of how the financial system works. It will provide you with the knowledge you need to make more informed and empowering decisions, including whether it would be helpful for you to hire a financial planner or other professional like a bookkeeper, CPA, or even a coach. The goal of my foundational finance content will be to provide you that education in bite-sized, digestible pieces that aren't overwhelming. So keep an eye out for that foundational finance posts I'll be publishing in coming weeks. Okay, so that's an overview of the first area. Now onto the second, which is the mindset component, which I call money mindset. The goal of the money mindset content is to introduce you to a different way of thinking or a new perspective about your finances. Changing mindset around money and finance really boils down to navigating the emotion we all experience around money. I believe it's empowering to simply acknowledge that the world of personal finance can be really emotionally charged. Money carries a lot of weight in our culture, and it directly connects to a lot of emotionally weighty items like security, status, and even self-worth. So when we sit down to take care of some of our financial to-dos, we might encounter resistance, anxiety, or even self-judgment. Often, the biggest challenge isn't figuring out the to-dos themselves, but rather navigating those emotions. And if you've ever experienced emotions like this, you're not alone. It's common. But fret not. There are two pieces of good news here. First, no one navigates their financial lives perfectly, and perfection is absolutely not required. We want to stay focused on progress rather than perfection. We've all made mistakes. Yes, that includes financial professionals. I have absolutely made decisions that, in hindsight, were suboptimal. So whatever you've done or not done in your financial life, it's okay. I've never encountered a situation in life where shame or self-judgment improve matters or make it easier to move forward. And that applies to our financial life just as much as it does to any other emotionally charged area of life. The second piece of good news is this. Whatever your emotional experience attached to money, that's also completely okay. It's normal to experience some hard-to-hold emotions, and that doesn't mean you won't be able to engage with your finances in an intentional and empowering way. This blog will give you ideas and strategies on how best to move forward. And there are professionals out there like me who welcome a discussion of emotional experience as a critical component of the financial planning process. Before I wrap up, I want to give you a little preview of what I really think this money mindset stuff is all about. My perspective is that tending to your financial life, developing a financial plan, it's a critical component of self-care. Financial caretaking and planning is very similar to other ways we take care of ourselves, such as diet, exercise, and meditation. And yeah, these are areas where there can be a lot of shoulds and judgment, both from others and from ourselves. I think it's critical to remember that the entire point of any self-care is to make our lives better. The motivation for self-care comes from a place of compassion. So I'd encourage you to keep that compassionate motivation in mind when dealing with your finances. Remember that you're taking care of yourself. Looking more carefully at your financial life need not be an opportunity to be unkind to yourself or unearth another reason why you're not good enough or less than. In fact, the opposite is true. We need to celebrate the progress we make, even if it feels small or insignificant at first. And actually, that's all that's required to become more financially empowered. Small, consistent, and imperfect steps forward. The goal of the Money Mindset posts is to encourage and inspire you to keep taking those steps. So those are the two types of content I'll be offering here. Foundational Finance will help you establish the skills to better see and understand your financial reality. Money Mindset will help provide you new ways of seeing, approaching, and thinking about your finances. I hope the combination of the two will inspire you to keep making progress on your financial journey. I think it bears repeating. Financial planning is all about creating a better life for yourself. A life where your financial resources propel you forward toward your ideal life. A life which is authentic, balanced, and abundant. That's the journey. That's what this blog is all about. If you have any questions or thoughts about what I've covered here today, please reach out. I'd love to hear from you. You can always shoot me an email at dave@turningpointhq.com or schedule a complimentary 30-minute, no-obligation meeting where we'll simply talk through whatever financial matters are on your mind. Thanks again for watching.